Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff. Semifinal 1 of the Men's College Cup is underway. Over to Ben Smith, one of the captains on the Pioneer squad. Back to another co-captain and Trevor Wright. Jason Beloli plays it out wide to Dylan Acow. And then a high boot player down in the middle of the pitch, maybe leading a break the other way. As Ronan Wynn is still down. He's up to his feet now. The reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the Summit League, as Søren Stoika did not see a foul there.
I felt like there was a knock on the end of it. 100% there is. Studs right up over the top. Missed one at the start for our crew. They are human.
Back to the keeper, Isaac Nami. So Devin, early on in this match, we always talk about how nerves can factor in. Jamie Franks, the coach for Denver, told us in their Summit League championship game against Kansas City, which they lost, he felt the team was a little bit tight. How do you manage emotions for both Vermont and for Denver early on this game?
To me, that tightness turned to scared, and scared money don't make money, right?
Yeah.
You got to stay true to yourself, number one, and I like the idea of removing emotion. You walk a fine line of being able to use that as a catalyst for success, but also, Dallin, you want to play the game. Don't play the moment. Don't let this moment of all the glitz and glamour and lights override what has been an incredible journey for both teams this season.
And that's what Jamie Franks did say, and he felt like his team has done it ever since. As in goes on the tackle, Adrian Schultz-Solano takes out Ian Smith.
A couple early ones. That's big boy tackle there coming up through for Schultz-Solano. The pairing that is he and Hartman within the midfield. They like to be aggressive. They allow Marcel Papp to go and try and play make underneath Bazzini. Schultz-Solano is the link-up player, though. He's the one a little bit more side-to-side and provides more quality depth to allow Hartman to be that branch into the front line of the midfield.
Now wide to Ben Sassett, the first touch for him in an attacking spot. But first, Ronan Wynn was clipped by Papp. And I'll pull it back. Rob Dow, Vermont coach, getting his boys to this first ever College Cup in his 8th season. He and staff, the American East coaching staff of the year. And that ball played in. Denver restarts very quick right now. But again, Vermont is no stranger to success in this tournament. They have 9 tournament wins over the last 3 years. That's more than anybody in the nation. They made it to the quarterfinals 2 years ago, the round of 16 last year, and now have broken through and gotten themselves to a College Cup, having to win 4 games to get there.
And to me, there's a misnomer about this Catamounts team if you're looking. Yes, I get it. They're not a blue blood. But they don't look at themselves on underdogs. And the saying around the group right now is not underdogs, just dogs. Just got to go out and find a way to push through and get results.
And you may have seen on Rob Dow the mustache he's rocking right now. They take Movember to a different level. Since that playoff run back in 2022, they call them playoff mustaches. So there are many players rocking them, the ones that can, and the coaching staff as well.
What was the tag on the end of it? That anybody that can, no problem. But you got to remember, they're pretty young men.
Yes. There's no way I could have done that. I still probably can't do it. Played down into the channel for OJ Ofunrin. Ofunrin turns. He's a first-team All-Summit League player. Ball pops up to Keegan Kelly. Back out to Smith. There's 3 Smiths in the starting lineup. That's Ian. Jack Ismail on the ball. Plays it forward, looking for Bazzini, picked up in the back by Trevor Wright. Ben Smith on it. Out wide to Dylan Acow. Played forth the win. Tries to get the cross off with Thuda, his first touch. Kept it nice. And actually out to touch. Might have been a break there. And there's Rob Dow in the stash time. You're a facial, look at this. You're a facial hair aficionado.
I'm in, those are great. Are those real?
Well, the mullet's definitely real, I know that much.
I like the one just over the back shoulder of Rob Dow. Let's just say that the beard hasn't grown as long as that young man would like, Jay. Not just yet.
I like it. Out to Ian Smith, the redshirt junior, plays it in. Ofunrin right there. Almost an early opportunity. And Vermont struggling to get on the ball. This number 3 overall seed, Denver, again, challenged themselves so much in the non-league. Had some big wins, including on the road at Stanford. early on in the season that really built their RPI, that allowed them to play at home throughout this tournament, which was a key reason why they couldn't get past that second round the last couple years with Jamie Franks in Denver. Jamie got his team here the first year he took over this job back in 2016, here being the College Cup. They haven't been out of the second round since.
They're another one, though, much like the conversation for the Catamounts, the Denver Pioneers. Bobby Muse, the current Wake Forest head coach, put them on the map. Jamie Franks was his assistant, took over in 2015, won 40-plus games first 2 years, only 2 losses. And, you know, it's interesting, the evolution for them, for me, is you kind of start as this hard-nosed, gritty team as he takes over, and now it's evolved to, stylistically, one of the most beautiful ones in the collegiate landscape. Really pretty the way that they move this thing side to side. You already mentioned Vermont not being on the ball. It's okay to not be on the ball. What they can't do is allow Denver to overload them in the midfield.
First corner of the match for the Pioneers. They've scored 3 free kick goals in this tournament alone in their 3 games. Sassett doesn't beat the first man, not the best service. He might get another bite of the cherry. He will. A lot of space here. Whip it in.
Good ball.
Headed down off the bar. Still loose. And Nick Hersig, the freshman from Germany, able to claim it and exhale.
That's clean. Watch his first touch here as this ball's played in. Thank you very much. Just allows him to get it on that right peg, and it's incredible. You look at the statistics for Bassett. I mentioned 13 assists coming in. That's 3rd best in the nation. Most of what you're going to see from him in distribution is set pieces or second chance opportunities coming in off restarts. Pinpoint accuracy early on.
Trevor Wright almost gave them another early goal that they had in that UMass game, where they were able to put one on the board from another center back, Jason Beloli, his partner, just in the 8th minute of that game against the Minutemen at home last weekend as they were on the way to a 3-0 win. But just to finish your point on Denver soccer, they are the 6th winningest program since Jamie Franks has taken over 10 years ago in the nation. And on top of that, Jamie's been here before. He won a national championship with that Wake team, coached by Jay Vidovich back in 2007. Ben Smith plays it in. Denver asking questions early. Laid back. Wynn clips it forward. And Nathan Simeone will play it out for another corner.
There was certainly a little part of me that wondered what the family dynamics would have been had Wake Forest progressed in the college up, had Pitt gotten
there we go, yeah.
The student becoming the teacher, and all 3 disciples have in front.
Jay Vidovich now, Pitt was in the quarterfinal. Bobby Muse of Wake Forest was in the quarterfinal. They both could not advance, but Jamie Franks, the youngest of the pupils, does. Second corner of the match, Sassett to take. Hersig gets a punch to it. Just kind of dinked back in. Max Murray gets his head on it. This Vermont team is big and physical. Almost their entire starting lineup above 6 foot and some body to go with it. Bazzini tries to touch it back, Ben Smith, and he will draw a foul. Bazzini, the redshirt senior, has had an outstanding career here at Vermont, transferring from NC State just down the road from where we are. First team All-America East, back-to-back years, see him taken out by Ben Smith. He's got a goal in each one of their 4 tournament games thus far. 8 goals in the last 8 games for their striker.
I want to add a quick lineup change, Devin, where we actually were told yesterday it was going to be Bryce Willoughby starting for Denver. Instead, Keegan Kelly is the last-minute switch today. We were told yesterday the decision was about health, and today the decision is about a matchup that Denver wants to expose, something to keep your eye on early.
Yeah, what you get out of Kelly within that conversation, he's a little bit better in combination play, a little bit more comfortable coming underneath, as you see just on the left side of your center circle to try and find link-up play. But Willoughby off the bench, it's that spark. He's got a lot of energy, a little bit more direct, but ton of speed. Probably his biggest asset within his game.
Kelly, 18 white, wearing his knee brace on his left leg is taped up. He has scored in 2 tournament games as well. He had the game winner against Indiana in their second game of the tournament, a 1-0 win. Also scored the opener against Gardner-Webb. A cow. His first team All-Summit League last year. He's clipped out.
That's much better there from Vermont defending. You know, I mentioned earlier they couldn't get overrun centrally within the midfield. They don't mind getting the game to the outside and trying to win those individual matchups. If you're going to steer them to the inside, you have to make sure you have that weak side support. So even though you get beat there, you got a much better job because you've got the pressure defensively coming off that back shoulder to make it a 2v1.
Back to Max Murray, who was first-team All-America East 2 years ago as a striker. Now as a center back, has the same accolade. He had to move back there earlier this year and has helped solidify that back line alongside Zach Barrett. America East Defensive Player of the Year, wearing 28 in gold, about to receive the ball. And Simeon cannot combine with Ismail. Bowl season, folks, in the American Gridiron begins tomorrow. 2 games, Jacksonville State taking on South Carolina State in the Cricket Celebration Bowl at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, noon Eastern on ABC. And then the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl. South Alabama squares off against Western Michigan, 9 Eastern on ESPN at the historic Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. Here we go. It is bowl season. And now more bowls matter with the 12-team playoff, too. It'll be an exciting season. Clipped in, looking for a fun ring. Heads it down, and Kelly, first-time strike wayward.
Tried to see if I could let the missus get me out and about and maybe go visit Penn State for a bowl game. Quickly was told probably not the best idea. This wasn't a bad idea. Well done. That's the link up we were just talking about with O'Fenreen and Keegan Kelly. If I would have submitted the permission slip with you, I'm sure it would have gone through.
I'm about to say, we can make a call. In case you have to give Case a call, but hey,
you'll go visit Pittsburgh. I'll bring you to Penn State. It'll be perfect.
I think it'll be lovely, but also, I mean, James Franklin's taking some heat. Your boys got there. I mean, you guys got to get there while you can. Of course, college football playoff starts December 20th on ESPN. Indiana, Notre Dame. Ben Smith heading it down. The Cow can't control. Bazzini does. Still Bazzini. Battling with Wynn. Hartman on it. Dispossessed. Sassett spins off the tackle. Well done by the local product. You'll see that on this Denver team. The vast majority of these guys are local products from Colorado and particularly from the Denver area, growing up in different academies in that area. A lot of veterans on this team too. Ian Smith, one of them, gets the ball, almost kind of came into the path of Kelly. Herzig on it though. Herzig's distribution not the best, but does find Ismail's feet. No call. O'Fenreen with a head of steam now. Kelly to his right.
Good tackle.
Good step by Murray.
Beautiful tackle by Max Murray.
Here's Wathuta.
And here's one of the difficult things that they're probably going to have to deal with all night, Dallin. We're 14 plus minutes in, right? That's really the first time that they've won a tackle, picked up, started possession. What happens there when you don't have the trailer runs? You're tired, right? You're defending. The easiest part, though, is once you gain possession, is to have the ball. You got to have belief in yourself when you go through those long spells that it's okay to start to chase the other way as Wathuta drags this team forward.
Played the channel to Pap from Wathuta. Cross is blocked. Nice job to find the feet of O'Fenreen. Murray over to Bleeker.
Oh, well, really well done.
Simeon, Barrett on the overlap now. Ismail. Barrett still making that run. That's your center back up there. Ismail, good ball played in just over the head of Bazzini. And Wynn will just get it out.
This is really well done by Vermont. This actually started because of the peel off the back line. They're trying to get Simeon higher. When they don't get it, though, great recognition by Zach Barrett. He comes around the outside, little overlapping center back action, drags space, gets the ball down into the channel. And much better overall from Vermont back to front.
Barrett back now into the back line again on the ball. Looking for the big switch, I thought, to Simeon, but actually more in the middle of the pitch. And Søren Stoika calls a foul on Bazzini.
Still not allowed to do that. Arm around the back shoulder there.
Cow able to bring it down. Running it bleaker with Thuda tracking back as well. Well done by the sophomore. It's part of the Canadian youth national team setup, 22 in gold. It's funny, when you were talking to the players yesterday, I mean, he has something special about him. And you said, do you guys want him to be more selfish?
Everybody looked around. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the one-on-one situations, he's great. And again, we highlighted it coming into the game, Dallin, how good he is in open space. Certainly once he gets down to the byline, finding the right moments with the trailing teammates. They talk about not being underdogs, just dogs. I want to see a little bit more of that from Sidney Wathuda. He has the capability to really take it to another level, right? When explosions coming down in, just be a little bit more adventurous in nature on the attacking side of the ball.
Again, 14 assists on the year, midfield of the year for 22 in gold and green at the top of your screen. And he's such a nice kid. He's a quiet, nice sophomore, but in a very veteran group. Again, both these teams have guys that have played over 50 starts. More than half their lineup has played 50 starts. And Wathuda kind of trying to find a way to assert himself as a young man.
Well, what's interesting too is, you're starting to see a little bit of shift within the game right now. Vermont's started to reassert themselves positionally higher. They're starting to win some of the second balls. But if you watch the way that Denver's playing, although this team has been a little bit flat to start the game, the way that the ball's popping out, it's a lot more inside out and just flat in their way that they're playing. They got to try to find a way to come a little bit more vertical and quicker in decision making. They're allowing Vermont to reset themselves defensively. The ball's not moving fast enough.
On that note, Dev, the messaging from the Denver sideline is earlier entry into Sam Bassett's feet from the Denver center backs feels like it's too much side to side, not enough vertical threat, as you're saying, and sees Vermont very flat in the midfield.
Even a blind squirrel finds one.
All right. It seems like you know what you're talking about. Great ad down there, Marion. Our eyes and ears. Marion Crowder, former great player at UGA, 29 career goals, third in the history of the Bulldogs program. And if you want to hear her talk about American football, she's going to scour her team, whether they win national championships or not, it seems, but it's okay. Hersig on the ball, the freshman, about to get the goal kick, making his 14th consecutive start. America East All-Second team. The German keeper wasn't even going to come here, Devin. He was looking maybe to come to America, maybe to stay with his club in Germany. In other words, an injury in the preseason. He gets a call from Vermont, says, hey, I am going to make that move. I'm going to get over there. And he had an injury early. Once his hand and his finger healed, he's been the #1 keeper ever since.
We've seen a couple of teams within this tournament that have gone through similar rotation, kind of a lost art, really, having that #1 overall. So many teams, and it's a testament to the depth that we talked about in the Open of your ability to rotate goalkeepers, maintain quality standard. And finally getting Hersig back into it. A lot more comfortable with the ball at his feet as the season has gone on. Good step there by Wynn. Defensively, they've done well for themselves, Denver. They've, for the most part, eliminated Sidney Wathuda on the outside. The way that Dylan Acal pops out of the middle, jumps onto that right-hand flank, good balance in front of Ronan Wynn. But as you saw about 90 seconds prior, just that quicker ball coming through. Starting to break some lines.
Run, can you, yeah?
Wynn with the long throw, turns over. We'll break in the action, tell you about the 23rd Annual Women's Jimmy V Classic, an all-ACC affair this year, Sunday on ABC. Louisville hosts number 22 NC State at 1 Eastern from the KFC Yum Center. They begin ACC play, and donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Go to v.org/donate. Every single one of your dollars, folks, goes to cancer research.
If I'm Sam Bassett right now, if you just, when this ball starts to move to the left side of your screen, look at 10 in white. Sam Bassett, as he starts to creep in, he's starting to pick up a shadow in Simeon. He's starting to come a little bit more to the inside. That's got to be a conversation with Ian Smith on this outside here. Start to push the tempo down into the corner, find the diagonal.
Bassett on it now. Back to right, back to Ben Smith. Jack Smith drives it out to a cow. Win. Right out to Ian Smith. Switch to a cow. Shields his eyes from the lights, able to bring it down. A Funreen. Right to a Funreen. Win, Jack Smith. He's going to give it a go. Right, turns it over Brazzini.
How's your touch? Don't mind if you do.
Ismail, and they look foul there, not going to get it. Ben Smith kind of just gotten away. Ooh, dangerous by Nami. The two-time goalkeeper of the year in the Summit. Wathuta. Job by Kelly, but he turns it over to Max Murray. Simeon, long to looking for Bazzini. Might fall to him. Hot ball back to Nami. Oh. Ooh. Close to almost just hitting Ismail. Now we'll find our first substitute of the match, and this will be the choice that was made earlier in the game that Devin and Marion discussed. As Soren Stoica now is stopping play. There's an injured Catamount down as Bryce Willoughby, now the redshirt sophomore from Houston, checks in. I believe that's Mike Bleeker, yeah. He is down right now. Their left back, transfer from American this year. Captain of that team last year, first team All-Patriot League, has been in lockdown that position most of the year, 18 starts in his 18 appearances. Well, he gets up. Now this is a team in Vermont that dealt with a lot of injuries throughout the course of the year. A lot of the midfield, some on the back line. And we'll see if Bleeker can go as he walks back with Rob Dow. Jamie Franks animated with his boys in this little timeout, if you will, basically at the midway point of the half.
Well, that's a little bit more of the old school in Jamie Franks, although he admits that he's certainly evolved in the decade that he's been here with Denver. A lot more one-on-one with players, the recognition of them as people and how to integrate that into his training session, but I like the passion. He'll dig in, and I don't mind it whatsoever.
Well, when he got the job, he was the youngest head coach in Division I. He was 28 years old, and he said, almost in a Machiavellian way,
that he had to rule out of fear.
Had to rule by fear. It's better to be feared or loved. Well, at that point, he said, I was too close in age to these guys. I was too young, and I kind of ruled out of fear. and I've learned over the years to connect with them, to mellow, if you will, to really understand the individuals and lean on some of his educational background and some things he learned throughout his playing days to help connect with these guys. And it's a much different relationship, as Ben Smith told us too. He's like, I talked to some of the older guys, they say Jamie's really different. he agreed too.
And Jamie Frank's not only chasing history within the Pios and what they've been able to do over his tenure. 2007 national champion with Wake Forest, looking to become the only player in the modern era, dating back to the early 70s, to win it as both a player and a coach. So much so that when we dive into the vault, there are these glorious statistics, and it was a fun one.
You do like to get in the vault.
The only player we were able to find, person I should say, that won it as both a player and a coach, that would be the Godfather, one Jerry Yeagley of the Hoosiers.
Yeah, who has 6 College Cup titles as a coach and won them as a player as well. And Jamie is the 6th player, to your point, in the modern era to play and coach in a College Cup. The last one to do that was Todd Yeagley a couple years ago. And of course, he actually lost to Marshall in the final when he could have been just right there with his dad to win as a player and a coach. McCow on it now. Willoughby's first touch is joining the fray. Nice touch by Wathuta. Bassett can't quite get there. Ball pings off of him. Back to Simeon.
I'm watching that left side right now. You know, we saw the brief stoppage of play to Mike Bleeker, but with the addition of Bryce Willoughby, the verticality that he brings to this game, he also has a tendency to float a little bit further to the outside, and that's where the positioning of a cow can start to change. The underlap underneath to start to attack that space in front of the front two.
Turned over, not a good area. Bleeker is back on the pitch. He is now 1v1 with the cow out there. Bassett. Combining with Smith. Bassett might hit this. He does. Can't keep it down, though. Just want to remind you, coverage of the NCAA Championships continues with the Men's College Cup Final, Monday, December 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA Men's College Cup, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Of course, this is semifinal number 1. Semifinal number 2 coming up 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game, 7:30, currently scheduled for Ohio State, the number 1 overall seed, taking on Marshall, the 13 seed. And Marshall, the only team of the 4 that has won a College Cup, as we just mentioned, back in 2020. Ohio State making their 2nd College Cup appearance, and the number 1 overall seed. Should be a great game. Well, much more on that game and the matchup in our show in between these 2 games. Hosted by the great Alyssa Lang, and Patty Foss, former College Cup champion with UVA, is standing by to host our coverage in between games.
Alyssa was kind enough to step into the booth. I think she's stealing some of the space heater next to me, to be fair.
She's smart. I didn't realize she was up here. That's a veteran move right there. Also, I have the awareness of a squirrel, apparently. I had no idea she was there.
Big switch.
Shorts it to Simeon.
Moments have been there. Just haven't been able to connect coming forward. And I mentioned for Denver how they felt a little bit scared in that game against Kansas State. I don't see that from them at all, but a little bit more tentative from Vermont when they are starting to pick up these passages and their inability to connect coming forward. Just hesitant to hit that first time ball.
Cal goes off of Wathuta for the corner. 3rd of the match. Now they did generate their 1 scoring chance off a corner. It was recycled back to Bassett, who was unmarked, and then put a dangerous ball in. We'll have our 2nd sub of the game, this time Vermont's first substitute. Ryan Zelafro is coming in the match. The freshman from Pennsylvania out of the Union Academy. America East all-rookie team this year. He comes in from Marcel Papp. Outswinging ball. Murray gets there with his 6'4" frame. Should say 6'5" frame. He's all of 6'5", Max Murray is too, and he's big as well. Zelafro on the ball for the first time. stay on it. And ball does go out there. Zini couldn't keep it in. And Zelafro, as you mentioned, you know, a Pennsylvania guy, but he actually was part of the College Cup in 2017 as one of the mascots, coming out with the Hoosiers.
Hair looks a little different.
Yeah, a little different.
Wow, what a memory. What a moment, huh?
Here.
Philadelphia at the time.
Love it. And of course, Stanford ended up winning that game over Indiana, the last of their 3 straight championships. And they were in the round of 16, but fell to the team that'll be appearing here in the nightcap, Ohio State.
As Denver has reasserted themselves within the midfield, the change with Zelafro trying to eliminate some of the balls into Jake Smith and Ben Smith. Doing a really good job of the activity off of it to free themselves up right on cue.
Win to a cow. Back to Willoughby. Wynn's going to play it in. He's got options! Oh, just wide! Oh, Funring just couldn't put it on frame. The senior from Texas.
The back line got caught ball watching just a little bit here as it recycled itself back to the outside. There's no reason, if you're Max Murray, that you allow him to sneak in on you. And the physical side that is the success of the Vermont Catamounts, they got to start to uptick when these balls start to whip in. You got to attack that and not let him just pinch slightly in behind you. Really good ball movement, though, from Denver. That's the inside out. You find that long ball into the channel, and good decision to whip it in first time.
He got himself on the score sheet against UMass, which was big for a striker because he had not scored in his previous 3 games. So big goal for him on UMass, a 3-0 win. That was so close. Now Murray plays it back to Hersig.
It's 3 balls on the field.
About to say, what's Murray playing with right now?
Awesome. It's a great idea.
It's like Rocky hit the one in the middle. Play the one in the middle. Ball turns over, and we cross under 15 minutes to go in the first half. This is the Men's College Cup semifinal, 1 of 2. And as Ryan Zelafro taking down the unseeded Vermont Catamounts against the 3rd overall seed, the Denver Pioneers, alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff. The second matchup coming up later, Ohio State, the #1 overall seed, taking on the 13th seed, the Marshall Thundering Herd. And in between games, don't go anywhere. We've got a great group coming up. Alyssa Lang, Patty Foss are patrolling things between the games. They will have a studio show. We got Marion Crowder down on the field, giving us all the info we need to know in this game and in between games and into our second game as well. Up to a cow again, controlling that right side. Use it for Ben Smith. Back to Jack Smith. Wright pings it wide, looking for Willoughby. No. What have you made of the first 31 minutes and change here?
Selfishly, from a tactical standpoint, it's like Christmas for me. Get a little bit of everything, right? We've seen Vermont try and go long. You know, they weren't winning their battles. Denver did a really good job of picking it up, play side to side as the game started to become a little bit more physical. Vermont started to move centrally. They then got themselves to win the one-on-one battles, and now it's sort of Denver just cleaning up some of the passages. Have done well. The biggest thing for me that we haven't addressed yet is the organization on the back line for Denver right now. And now, to be clear, obviously, the Catamounts haven't coughed anything up. There's been some good chances. But I've loved what I've seen out of Trevor Wright and Jason Biloli, because with all the movement in the midfield and the underlaps and the overlaps and the vertical threats that have been, those two really stable, also eliminating Yaniv Bazzini up top in that 9.
Both of the, I mean, that back line you just mentioned right there, every one of them has started at least 60 matches. And a lot of them obviously together. And the same thing on the other side. They're all 4 grad students, not have logged all the time together with 2 transfers. But again, all over 60 games in college soccer.
And that ball that you just saw played in was what I'm talking about. It's a 35-yard ball. He's got Bazzini over his shoulder, cleanly out of the air to quickly tuck it into the midfield.
Simeon in some space. Blocked down by Ian Smith, out for a throw. Now they will employ long throws quite a bit. And Søren Stoika is saying they can make the substitutions. There are 2 Denver players waiting, and they will get to join the fray. You've got number 12 coming in the match, Ian Welch, the redshirt freshman from Austin, Texas, along with Lucas Fisher, the grad student, grew up in the Timbers Academy, coming on here. And now this long throw by Barrett, looking for that head of Murray. Still kind of pinging around, falls to Wathuta. He'll drive it, deflects, still not out of trouble. That is back in, and finally Name able to come out and claim it. It's a first shot on goal technically for the Catamounts. See the Catamounts, they do get up their shots, and especially in the America East. They are the big boys in that league. Just under 18 shots a game, top 20 in the nation. That is their first one, as I just mentioned.
That's to our point about the back line, though, of Pioneers that has been quite stout. 9th Division I in the goals against average. They do not concede a lot of opportunities. You have to try and force them to make a mistake. They're not going to do it for you.
Yep. Ian Smith, and he's got Welch ahead of him. Welch might be able to hit this. He drives it. Herseg is there. Would have been a heck of a welcome to the game for the redshirt freshman.
That's better depth for Denver, the way that they're able to operate through this. Ian Smith comes high. Just that quick little peel off. You've got the run up high from Fisher already coming forward. That's your presence, but the word that's being utilized on the sideline right now, layer. They want more layers within this build. And
explain what that means?
Yeah, so basically right now you're getting everybody on the same plane. So that flat look when they start to build, Ben Smith and Jake Smith are doing a good job of giving different levels to it. But then it's on Bassett of recognizing, I can't be shoulder to shoulder. I got to try and find triangulation to give each other options to play off of. It allows you in tight net spots, but also you can circumvent it to the other side of the field and starts to stretch your opponent.
Bleeker back to Murray. Under 10 minutes to go in this first half. The first semifinal of Men's College Cup. So Dylan Acau getting some water and some instruction from Jamie Franks. Simeon, touch a little heavy. Bassett picks it up. Ben Smith with the switch out wide to Willoughby. Win. Almost tried to place it.
Similar messaging on the sideline here, guys, for both head coaches. Devin, you alluded to Jamie for Denver saying he wants more layers in the build. Gave some specific positional specifications, but over here on the Vermont sideline, it's the same thing. There's frustration with the force trying to go vertical all the time. He says that we need one more guy in the build. We have to find a few more passes in the final third.
Wathuta coming out there for Andrew Millar, redshirt sophomore from Cambridge, Mass, grew up in the Revs Academy. Shout out to Ringen Latin High School in Cambridge. He graduated from, and Maximilian Kissel will come in for Bazzini. Kissel was a D2 All-American last year at Bridgeport, led the nation in goals, and also had the goal that gave them technically the 1-0 advantage against Pitt, and they went on to win that quarterfinal game. Barrett comfortable on the ball. Barrett floats it, looking for Kissel. There's Bazzini getting a little break. The college soccer substitution rules are different. This year you get 6 windows to sub players in. They can leave in the first half and re-enter in the second, like always in years past, but in the second half if they exit, they cannot re-enter in that half of play. So Wathuta, Bazzini, their day is not done by any stretch. These are pretty normal substitution patterns for Rob Dow.
He's fortunate though, he's got 2 of the best Swiss Army knives at his disposal, and Andrew Miller and Ryan Zelafro. It's kind of that you want to play the striker up top if you're Miller, or you play down underneath, certainly side by side with Max Kissel. The way they're going to work together is going to be interesting to me, both eliminating what is Jake Smith as he drops, but that pairing, they play a little bit deeper chart to link up with this midfield, and then Zelafro on the outside. Pretty much plays every position but goalkeeper, yeah. which is awesome. Does the work. Whatever you ask of me, no problem whatsoever. Next man up, I'm happy to do that job.
You heard that message with almost every team we talk to, that it is about the message about next man up, whatever you need me to do, coach, but especially in this Vermont team, with the injuries they've had and guys moving around. I mean, there are some guys that played all over the pitch, and it was just about getting 3 points on every outing when you could. Ian Smith's touch heavy. Oh, but he's able to keep it in. Still Smith. Might fall to Ben Smith now. It does. He can't control it, and Ismail will get on the ball. He'll keep his run going. Looking for some help. Gets it in Simeo. Good ball to Millar. Oh. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Here from Cary, North Carolina. First 2 semifinals tonight in the College Cup. Ohio State Marshall next. Zelafro just lost the handle, essentially. Lucas Fisher trying to put his head in there. It was bold from a grad student. That's the thing, a lot of these guys are going through finals. Guys had finals yesterday. Almost every team had players that were still trying to complete things. The ones that were done, Devin, were very happy to tell us with a smile on their face, I'm done.
One of the Lineker Rodriguez dos Santos from Marshall. We'll see him later on. Just one class.
That was remarkable.
Took it remote because it conflicted with practice.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Lineker Rodriguez dos Santos. You will hear his name throughout the next broadcast. He is Well, Matt Kerman, semifinalist for the National Player of the Year Award, first team All-Sun Belt Conference, probably going to be an All-American, but also very crafty with his schedule to transfer from Memphis. Out wide to Willoughby. And eventually crowded out by the Catamounts. Zelafro goes down. Zelafro, excuse me. Murray over to Hartman. Hartman looking for Millar. And Nami, excuse me. Willoughby. Bololi.
Jackson State got the game. The Celebration Bowl. Yeah.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute.
Wynn now starts forward, gets it to Willoughby. Bassett.
Now this is going to be a conversation at halftime. They can't have him that deep, that regularly. Sam Bassett and his brother Cole certainly doing wondrous things within the MLS squad in the Colorado Rapids, but it's about one-on-one. He's got to have more aggression within his game right now, and then also down the recognition for Denver that if you can't play into him, you can play around. There's plenty of space available to him. That's a ball.
Ball played in well. Murray gets there first and over the goal. Bassett is sprinting to try to take the corner. Willoughby's going to try to get the ball out to him, but I don't know if they're going to get it, and they're not. Maybe an opportunity missed as we go to 0-0 at the break here through the first 45. We got to kick the ball off so you stop dancing. I can't watch this anymore. Søren Stoika, our center official. It was 53 degrees at kickoff. The sun is down. It is getting chillier, down to 47, and we will be in the mid-30s, supposedly, within that second match. See if that has any effect as the second 45 is underway. Couple substitutions for Denver, a couple new bodies in the mix here. Adrian Semmelsberger, 25, white in the middle of the pitch. Also Tyler Schomer, number 9 in white, is now in the game as well. Another change for you as well. Kyle McGowan, redshirt sophomore, 17 in white. Again, you cannot re-enter in college soccer in the second half anymore. So if you start the second half, you got to go the full 45. And in this tournament situation, you could be going to extras, you could be going to penalties, overtime, you could be going to penalties as well. Sidney Wathuta The American East midfielder of the year back in the game and on the ball. He's dangerous. Almost got that off. Blocked by Wright. Still loose. Simeon. His pass picked off as I thought he might have another chance to create. Offenring gets it to his feet, but heavy touch takes it out of control.
This is some of what we were talking about from Sidney Wathuta. Just how clean is that? Just coming off the quick little spin, getting it onto his right foot, challenging centrally. This is the confidence you want if you're Rob Dow. The ability to run into open space, but as you cut into those smaller areas, much cleaner on the ball from Sidney Wathuta. Well done.
Grew up in the Vancouver Whitecaps Academy. Outstanding young player, midfielder of the year in the America East this year. 14 assists on the campaign. That's second in the nation.
He makes it look so effortless.
I was thinking the same thing.
He takes a step and he's gone 20 yards.
Yeah, just glides. Up to Bassett. Semmelsberger on the ball. Redshirt junior from New Mexico. Ronan Wynn. Nice ball played in. Whew. We could see it from here. Herzig had it covered, but that might go out for a corner. Kind of a gifted corner there by Simeon.
Well, this started with Semmelsberger, though. You know, within this system, you got to be clean on the ball. You have to understand where the pressure points come from, and he did a really good job pinching quickly that then made it through to Trevor Wright, and as they recycled, just doing a good job getting numbers back up high. Tyler Schomer coming off the back shoulder of Offenring.
Schomer, known as a great goal scorer in his youth career. Shattuck St. Mary's, a Minnesota product. Almost put one in here with a change the whole game. Now Herzig's got a little activity in front of him. A lot of guys around the penalty spot. Fourth corner of the match. They've scored in 3 set pieces in this tournament. Make it 4. Close. There appears for a handball. And Søren Stoika, there is video review in college soccer. He can look at it if he wants to. He chooses not to.
I thought it hit his hand as well. Right there, absolute clear as day. Oh, not even a question. Hands away from the body, unnatural, certainly right in front of Trevor Wright. Very fortunate that that didn't go up against him.
And Søren Stoika is a very good official, but this is what I don't understand about when you have the resources here, and you don't always react to players. But it's maybe you would have thought, I'll take a look, because that was a blatant one with Trevor Wright standing there. That could be 1-0 if it gets through to his foot or body. Well, back the other way now, and Zach Barrett will trot forward. They are known for these long throws, kind of using their own set pieces. You see 36 coming into your picture right now. Max Murray, his 6'5" frame, and he is all of 6'5", coming towards the goal line, and he will try to flick this thing on. Looking for Murray. Doesn't quite get to him. Oh, Schomer. That was tough. He's down in a heap, and the Schultz Solano on the tackle. And Stoico must have a couple words with them. There have been no yellow cards issued in this match. Hasn't been overly physical, though.
Good tackles, I would say, the ones that we've seen, right? They've been clean, able to come through. Certainly some bigger ones at the start of it. It's just much cleaner from Denver. That's the other thing that both squads thought they struggled with a little bit in the first half, down that even when the opportunities were there, just not as decisive in nature. You start to question yourself. You pull up on the ball a little bit, you don't hit it as well, the space closes down. That starts to creep into your mind over time. A much better start at the beginning here. Good tackle.
Turned over, and maybe a chance for a break here for the Catamount. Ismail on it. Good recovery by the Pioneers. Schultz Solano up to Wathuda. And Nami cradles it in. Rob down, this Vermont team, never been to this stage. Their first College Cup program history. Denver's second, they were here in 2016. Jamie Frank's first year, they fell in extra time, or overtime if you will, to Wake Forest, the eventual runners-up. Play to the feet of Bazzini, strike, blocked. And Bazzini will let it go out. And here come your center backs again.
They narrowed his role a little bit. Ismail on the outside as they tuck him just in a touch. Two things are going to come out of it. You can get a little bit more. And those 1-2 punches with Bazzini as well as Simeon, getting him higher into the game. They've not been able to do that as much.
Bololi's down on the deck. He took a ball to the midsection there. Now Marshall, they're in the building. The only team here to win a College Cup. They won the 2020 College Cup. Love these Letterman's jackets for the Thundering Herd. Sweet threads they are sporting in their second College Cup appearance. Now outswinging ball. They're about to take on Ohio State at 7:30. Scheduled start time, assuming this one ends in regulation.
Is Chris Grassley getting the nod for that? Player developer, tactician, fashionista.
Fashionista.
Put it on the belt. Love it.
I hope he wears that. That was fun. I hope he wears it on the sideline. That was a great jacket. Marshall was the #1 overall seed in last year's tournament. Fell to Stanford. Could not progress back to a College Cup. Ohio State now has that target on their back as the #1 seed and the #1 team in the nation coming to the tourney. How have you thought about the first 8 minutes here? What do you think about the start?
Certainly better for Vermont. I think we've seen cleaner ball movement from Denver, but they're having to do it from a much deeper lying position on the field. It's also part of the evolution of this program. Jerry Frank's very clear about the fact that, listen, it's not always going to be high pressure, quick ball movement in the beautiful game. We've had to learn over the course of the year to win in the mid to low blocks, to chase a little bit more and suffer through games in order to find success. Dealing with some of that right now.
I will say credit to the team and to him. They moved on past that penalty shout pretty quick because they were hard done, to say the least. That they should have had a penalty. Most likely should have had a penalty if it was reviewed. And they've moved on and are playing.
Hold it on. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. It's fine tempo. It's fine tempo.
Ball whipped in, a fun ring. Oh, couldn't control.
Hey. Ty, watch your shoulder flying. Good.
Wynn hesitates, then explodes. He can get a cross off here. Headed out. Ismail lets it roll across his body. Barrett, the Defensive Player of the Year in the American. Back to Hersig. Trevor Wright apologizes for that pass to Ben Smith, but they maintain possession. Semmelsberger. Tons of space for Bassett to take. Ball driven in, out by Barrett. Denver starting to pin in the catamounts a bit here. Ben Smith charging forward. What a tackle. Win, first time. Right to the breadbasket, though. Wynn scored in the last match against UMass as well, a 3-0 win for the Pioneers in the quarterfinals.
Just keep an eye on the relationship in the midfield with Semmelsberger and Ben Smith. Last couple of minutes, much better communication between the two. If you watch the way they pivot off of each other, they're showing both at the same time, and they're coming wide. Now, wide is relative to the sense of, okay, well, they're probably now 15 yards apart. But as one comes and receives, now the other one's starting to step. First couple of minutes of this game, they were on that same plane. It goes back to the layers that Jamie Franks was talking about in the first half.
A good ball. The flag goes up, though. And Rick Rogers, near side assistant, had it. As Ian Smith was making that overlapping run from the left back spot.
Well, the cat and mouse is started to play itself out there on that right-hand flank. We mentioned the slight positional tweak from Ismail Vermont. It's come a little bit more narrow. They want to get Simeon higher. Well, no problem whatsoever. All of a sudden, Ian Smith says, great, you're going to concede that space. As we push in, one midfielder pops out, I come higher, and they're unlocking Bassett a little bit more too.
Yeah. Murray, a little hesitant, back to Hersig. Puts the freshman in a bind, blasted into the North Carolina Knight. Semmelsberger takes down Zelafro, says Rick Rogers. Semmelsberger's giving him good minutes. Zelafro. A lot of white jerseys around him. Played in. Schomer offside though. We tried to lay it off to a Funley. Look at this. They're waiting in the tunnel there. It feels like a high school basketball game. I'm taking you back to my younger days. You're waiting in the tunnel for like you get there, the JV game's going on. Very Hoosiers-esque. Is Norman Dale here?
I think they'll find that the size of the goals are the same here. Back in.
Bill, well done! Whose shooter is the question? That's what you want to know on that staff with Chris Grassi.
Yeah, set up, play. Tempo.
Marshall taking on Ohio State in the other semifinal. And you saw the guys videoing. Phenomenal crowd here at Wake Med Soccer Park.
Growing too.
It just keeps building.
Temperature dropping and the population horizon.
I love it because they got the ice cold bleachers. These are cold seats. They ain't got chair backs here. I love it. Funreen spins, shakes off a tackle.
Big tackle.
And Max Murray, his last-ditch effort. Now, Jamie Franks is saying he wants a card for the professional foul that O'Funry was able to play through. It was a good play on by Soren Stoica, but
not panicking, though, if you're Max Murray. I got to give him a lot of credit on this tackle, the way that he slid over. One of the biggest things to coach, you don't want your center back to leave your feet unless they absolutely have to. He got it perfect.
Fifth corner of the match, and they've been dangerous on these. Bassett to take the Mac Herman semifinals for National Player of the Year. Whips it in. Hersig gets his hands to it. Semmelsberger, will he put it back in the mixer? He does. Murray gets his head to it first. Out to Bassett. Shot! Oh! Almost a moment of magic from the two-time midfielder of the year in the Summit. And how about Hersig, the freshman, with the save?
And we've been talking about second chance opportunities. Great delivery once again from Bassett. They thought maybe the goalkeeper coming a little bit more forceful to try and get two hands on the punch to clear it further to the wide. Still gets it clean, but the second one, head up. I mean, that is eerily similar to the goal that we saw in the run-up play that we showed in the open. Just a little bit further away, trying to pick out that far corner.
Bassett again now. Denver looking to break the deadlock. Murray gets his head on it. Kept in by Schomer. Schomer's ball out. Not out, pardon me. Still in play, and now will go out.
As good as it was from Bassett. Watch this save. You kids at home, that is absolutely perfect technique from Hersa. The way that he comes over, plants on the left, the reach across the body to allow full extension. It's a beautiful display of goalkeeping from the freshman.
And 2 subs come in. Willoughby's back in, as is a cow. But just to go back to Hersig, those saves, this young man, again, was injured early. A freshman from Germany, second team all-conference in the America East on the all-rookie team. He's only allowed 9 goals now in what is now his 14th appearance. He has been stout back there, and you're seeing why, making huge plays. He made big saves throughout this tournament to keep them on this run of 4 straight wins to get here.
Hey, just give me an idea, too, as the pivot point within the season for this Vermont squad. His first game back was the UMass game, okay? And the reason that it retains relevance is at that point in time, they were 4-1-4. 1 loss through 9 doesn't sound too shabby. They weren't happy. They had a team meeting after a video session before they went out to training. It was led by Max Murray, Adrian Schultz-Solano, and they said, this isn't good enough. The standard has to be better. We don't need to rely on an at-large bid. We want to win the conference, be the one and only team from America East to come out, and certainly the goalkeeper coming back into that mix. Just 1 loss in the last 12.
A Cow's ball played in, as now Wathuta will try to get some control of it for Vermont. And just to finish on that, you mentioned, the leadership with that. Zach Barrett was very vocal in that meeting as well, and his line to the team is, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. And he felt like his guys were looking too much ahead, worried about getting to the tournament again, worried about making a run that they had the previous 2 years and getting to this stage. And they said, hey, we got to go one bite at a time, 1 practice at a time, 1 session at a time, 1 game at a time. And that helped turn their season around. They now are 7-0-1 in their last 8 games. And there's Barrett, the Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time in the America East. 2-time first-team All-America East. This year's Defensive Player of the Year. Vermont now getting a minute of the ball because they were under some pressure there. Out to Bleeker. Schultz-Solano. Step by Ben Smith, but it finds its way through to Ismail. Mazzini, he's dangerous. Oh, deflected and over. Had Nami scrambling. First corner of the match for the Catamounts, and again, this is a big team. Almost their entire starting line, starting 11 is over 6'1". This is a big, 6 feet tall, big group with some big center backs. They will play it short. A lot of space there here to get off a cross. And that did not come together. Schultz-Solano's cross attempt was deflected out for a throw. And now Barrett's up there to do his thing with a long throw. Looking for the head of Murray. Bassett will just get it out. Punched out by Nami, and they're going to say there was a foul before that. And now Ohio State is in the building. The Buckeyes making their second College Cup appearance. You see Do It for Dalla. That is their center back, the heartbeat of their team, Nathan Demian, who is back home in Columbus Saturday night after they beat Wake Forest in the quarterfinal matchup, knowing they'd come to a College Cup. He was a victim of a shooting as an innocent bystander. He is recovering. He is okay. And he is at home watching his team in the hospital, still trying to recover. But the heart-wrenching experience for him, his family, the team all week, not knowing if he would still be here, was a whole different element for that team to deal with.
I can tell you one of the things that I thought broke the ice the best for the room in our meetings yesterday was the story they were kind enough to share when the second that he came to the hospital.
In the ICU post-surgery.
Doc, I got a college cup. You got to get me back out there. Let's go.
Folks, he was intubated, had the intubation intubated
Wrote it
tubes
down.
in his
Yep.
throat. He writes down College Cup game Friday. Unfortunately, he will not be able to make it, but he's here in spirit because these guys are carrying him with them. And you take a look, there is Nate Demian, the center back for Ohio State. Again, the heartbeat of their team in the hospital. Sent the team a message they'll hear before this game. And these guys are playing for him. It was emotional for Brian Masonoff, the coach, and his players to talk about how they found out about that, the panic of going to the hospital, waiting for him to get out of surgery. A lot to handle. Trevor Wright has to come off and change his boot. And Marion was actually with Coach Masonoff just a moment ago. Let's hear what Marion and the coach had to say.
Coach, unfortunate, unforeseen circumstances your team has had to deal with. What's this week been like for you all?
It's been a crazy week. It's been an emotional week. And it's been tough, but I'll tell you what, this is a great group of guys. Nathan's such a big part of this team, huge personality, and just a wonderful kid and a tremendous player, as we know. So it's been emotional, but the guys have done a great job leaning on each other, being there for one another, and loving one another.
It's been a tough balance, I'm sure, between worrying about him and preparing for what is about to take place here in mere minutes. Now that we are minutes away from kickoff, what is your message to the guys in this locker room?
I mean, Nate's going to be in our heart, and we feel his presence all the time. Like I said, he was such a big personality that each of us have. Nate's competitiveness, we have his spirit, and we know how much he loves this group. So the messages go out there. We do it for Nate, and we keep doing what we're doing.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
Great, thank you.
That's Brian Masonoff, the head coach for Ohio State, speaking on what the week has been like for them after Nathan Demian suffered a shooting Saturday night. But I'd say they got the shirts. Do it for dollar. We'll see them play Marshall here coming up in the second semifinal of the Men's College Cup. Back here and now, Nate Simeone. His crossover cooked a bit. He had Bathuta in the middle. Bathuta will track it down. Defended by Dylan Akau. Ismail. He's going to give it a go. It was curling. Not enough.
Pretty interesting, by the way, that within this game, about 20 minutes apart, Adrian Schultz-Solano and Trevor Wright, both with torn boots.
It's pretty bizarre. You see that
I don't know if you and I have ever seen one in a game. Now, I've certainly seen it, and I've done it myself, but you and I commentating over a match, I don't think we've ever seen that, yet alone twice.
It's not common. I feel like when you say that, I picture Zion blowing out his shoe about 8 miles down the road from here, but that was years ago.
A shout out to the Kitmen, right back at it.
Willoughby over to Akau. Akau floats it back post. Ian Smith's going to try to keep it in. He does. Back to Bassett in some space. He's dangerous with it. Curled in. Oh, finds the back of the net. Doesn't matter if it's a shot or a cross, because it's a goal. 1-0 Pioneers.
It started with the beautiful movement down into the right channel. Overcooked a little bit to the backside. Wanted the ball a little bit lower and hit with more venom to the near post. But again, second chance opportunities marked by both coaches. The way that he just reasserts himself, drops down in. And the whole idea here, Dallin, is getting onto his right foot. You're trying to pick out space on the back line to allow a player to drift underneath and go attack it. Willoughby had done a really good job getting there. Mistimes it. If you're Nicholas Hurstead, recognizes it quickly, cannot track back. There are 2 players in the country that have 8 goals and at least double-digit in assists. One of them just produced an absolute moment of brilliance from Sam Bassett.
Bassett, we told you, is the Mac Herman semifinalist. That list was just announced this week as the National Player of the Year. And when big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and he just stepped up to break the deadlock right now for his 9th goal in the campaign. to go along with, as Devin mentioned, his 13 assists.
Closing out the first half, one of the conversations we had, drifted into halftime as well. Got to get him higher.
Yep.
Got to continue to push him up high to allow him certainly to get on the ball more in moments like this, but also good things happen when you get into good spots, right?
And that's one of the few times we've seen him on that wing there with space and time. And the other time he almost served up an assist to Trevor Wright in the first half. Akau now charging forward. Lose the ball with Thuda now on it with just under 21 minutes to play. Can the Catamounts battle back? And on the season, Denver's been great when they've scored first, 14-1-1, and particularly under Jamie Franks. It's an insane number that he has. He's 1-11, 9-12 when they score first in the 10 years he's been the Pioneers head coach.
Just to cap that off for the moment that was for Sam Bassett, his brother Cole, homegrown Colorado Rapids. Spectacular season under Chris Armas and MLS, and he talked about his development and how his brother has helped him. I said, where do you feel like he's pushed you the most? He said, one-on-one situations, wants me to dribble a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't think so after that moment at the dinner table, and he's just going to look over. Dribble more, huh?
It was fun listening to Sam talk about their experiences together. Cole has followed him through this tournament, watches all the games, they talk about them, but has grown up as kids in the same academy, going and training together, working on their game together, and Sam aspiring to be eventually on the same level his brother is professionally. But right now, he just gave his team a 1-0 lead in the College Cup, a chance to get Denver to a place they've never been, to the final on Monday. Bassett on it again, looking ahead to Smith, plays him. Takes it over to Ian Smith. Woo. Driven and out for yet another corner, which has caused so many problems.
And that leadership on the back line right now, though, Zach Barrett, you got to start to communicate, get these guys up, lift the spirits of this Vermont Catamounts team. That belief that they're dogs, not underdogs. You're down. You are not out. You got plenty of time to get back into this game. Heads down a little bit. Time to pick your team back up.
Bassett to take the corner. 7th of the match, and they have caused some problems here. Whipped in, headed on, and Bololi couldn't keep it down.
I mean, this is some kind of ball that he's been able to stick right at the top of the 6. And what's the old saying? You can't defend it, can only help to contain.
Now there you go. You have me on the edge of my seat. I'm like, what phrase? We've got a lot.
He's so good, Bassett, with the ball at his feet. The little cutbacks, certainly the dead balls, watching tape leading into it and going and breaking down. His assists, again, 13 coming into the night. That's 3rd best in the country. 2nd best right away on the other side of the ball. Sidney Wathuda on the left wing for the Vermont Catamounts, but about 80% of them coming from moments like that. Dead balls from the corner, restarts, 30 yards and in.
You saw that come back that the second is now Bassett's got his head up, and they've got white jerseys with a chance for an odd man break. Akau busting it to the back post, unmarked. Ian Smith picks his head up, tries to find Akau, and he does! But skies it. Under pressure.
That's really good pressure on the backside, though. This ball can't be put in a better position. Watch the recovery run at the bottom of your screen, though, to get in front of Akau. Just a little bit right there. That run is everything.
Zelafro.
What I say,
busting it.
Best Swiss Army knife on this team, right? He
freshman,
can play
too.
everywhere, and the intensity that he brings, the willingness to do the work. He doesn't make that run. That's game, set, match.
2-0. Yeah, that was a heck of a play by Zelafro right there to get back in. And as now Marcel Papp will come back in the match, and there's Zelafro, but he will replace Niels Hartman. They showed the graphic here a couple minutes ago. We've had so much going on since then. Denver is now 8-0 in these 4 tournament games. They've yet to concede. And there have been other teams the last 5 years, teams have come to the College Cup without conceding yet. All of them got to the final, and 4 of the 5 of them won the whole thing.
Yeah, you're in pretty good company, right?
Yeah. Bassett dribbling himself out of trouble, gets it back to Bololi.
And just be aware that they pushed him a little bit higher now. As Zelafro, as he starts to come in front of Adrian Schultz-Solano, he's really running the 6 by himself now. They're not running the double pivot. What they're trying to do is try and get Zelafro and Marcel Papp together. Try and work off of each other as they continue to invert Sidney Wathuta even more. Again, you got Ismail who can play on both sides. He can play high. That front line has a lot of flexibility within it. But they're trying to make sure that they've got enough bodies a little bit more direct so that when they come high, they can work off of each other.
Simeon striding forward. This pass does find Zelafro. Out to Bleeker. Wathuta in front of him, checks back. Max Murray. Duda loves cutting it on that right foot. Chops it back. They want the foul, not given, and now ball is still loose. Kept in by Bleeker. Papp. Flips it to Zelafro. Nice feet. Still Zelafro. Oh. He goes down. Appeals for penalty, none given. It looked like a dive from this angle. Zelafro on it again. Thuda. Zelafro. Stop start. Gets end line, drives it back. Oh! Man, Papp was there, couldn't keep it down.
Just talked about it, right? Yeah. Just talked about that relationship within the midfield, working down into the corner and trying to get Zelafro and Papp together. Now, while certainly the dirty work is done by Zelafro, watch the way that he brings him in. Little physical presence, bounces off of it to maintain his balance and then peek over the shoulder. Put in the perfect position. Unfortunately, just leaning back a bit too much there from Papp.
You can hear that's the Vermont crowd coming to life, trying to urge their catamounts on to get them to equalize this College Cup semifinal. Cow. Wynn makes the overlap, plays it back to Semmelsberger. Cow now on it again. Plays Wynn. He cuts it back.
That's a touch.
Chance. Oh, Ian Smith, you're right. Great control.
A friendly reminder, everybody wants to talk about the front line. I'm with it. This is a defender. Don't mind if you do. Again, it's not just how clean it is. Watch where he puts the ball. Back across the body. Defender has to now shift the momentum, come back over. Non-preferred foot. Not the cleanest contact on the back end of it, but beautifully done by Ian Smith, the left back for Denver.
He also scored in that UMass game, 3-0. Looking for his 3rd goal of the season.
It's the second half team, though.
Oh, ball played through with Duda. Can he get there? Almost rounds the keeper. Oh, flag is up. Flag is up. Nami got his, I think, got a hand to it anyway. But Ryan Homemaker.
The technical area is not happy with the decision by the refereeing crew. I mean, waited. Perfect.
Oh, great job of the keeper.
I was just talking about the second half nature of this Vermont team, though. 43 on the season, 45 on the season. 29 goals in the second half overall. So they know how to turn it up a little bit. And they've gotten a lot more out of Wathuta, getting him higher. Those little seams they're starting to pick themselves through.
To add to that, they have 14 goals after the 83rd minute. Okay. That's 6th best in the country. So they
buckle
are,
up.
Yeah, buckle up for the last 11 minutes here. Floated out to a Cow. Pings it out to a cow and he can't get there. We'll take a look at that offside call. The Catamount bench was not happy about it, but
just creeping in the bottom of your screen. And that's probably the left arm.
Yeah, probably. It seems likely, but
most
we didn't have to say
maybe.
Ryan Hamik had the exact angle. He's the far side official that was right there on it, and he put the flag up. So. And you can review offside, but only in goal-scoring situations where a goal results immediately from the pass before here to initiate the offside. And Soren Stoica is going to stop play here. Come over and have a chat with Rob Dow and the Catamount bench.
We've discussed multiple times the emotion within the game, which certainly right now is just
there's a yellow
stepped
card.
over. Yeah, that's a no. I'm not trying to make any contact. I promise you that much. Back up off. But the emotion that comes along with the moment, again, bright lights, the glamour, certainly the notoriety that comes with being one of the remaining 4 teams in the country. I loved what he said to us down on the field, though. Again, 10 minutes to go here, backs up against the wall, the pressure coming into the match, and he walked over to his guys. He said, listen, this could be a lot for us, right? Make sure the first 5 minutes before you even finish the sentence, Zach Barrett, coach, we got it. Settle down. We're going to go do us. We'll be just fine.
Yeah, we got it. We're good. This team is a loose bunch of guys that compete hard, but right now their backs are against the wall. Under 10 minutes to go in the first College Cup semifinal. That yellow card was actually assessed to the team, to the bench, not to one person in specific.
The frustration over here after this chance.
Willoughby charging forward.
Good ball.
Continue, Marion.
The frustration over here on the Vermont sideline is actually stemming not just from that offside call, but the 2 potential penalty fouls earlier in one of their possession series. And they actually reviewed on their iPad. They have an iPad down here on the field. They reviewed the same offside call that we looked at in that replay. They felt very strongly it was not offside with the angle that they have, just begging for a review.
Well, I understand where they're coming from, but again, once that flag goes up and if it does not result in a goal, there's not going to be a review anyway, how college soccer is set up.
I also understand that, you know, in their minds, it's definitive for them. They have a different angle. They run a program called Speedio. They've got their own camera up top. They can get a wider angle, and that's not part of the broadcast view. So what we were privy to led us to believe that he was in an offside position. We can't see what they're looking at.
Oh, they're charging forward now. Ball finds the feet of Bassett, though. His pass picked off. Not what you want to see if you're Jamie Franks. And Zelafro is doing his thing. There he goes down. He will get the call this time. And there may be a card in addition, and there is. And this is a dangerous spot. And you've got, again, these big bodies from Vermont striding forward. Let's take a look at the foul.
His tired legs and a little cross back over, and notice how his feet, they just get a little bit flat there for Ben Smith. He was anticipating the ball down into the channel. Well read by Ryan Zelafro, who has had an incredible second half here for Vermont. Utilized in multiple locations, certainly the cutback that was about 5 minutes prior.
And again, you've got Wathuta standing over at 22, second in the nation with 14 assists on the season. Marcel Papp is there as well, the grad student from Hungary. Spent time with the Hungarian U17 national team. He's played in the Euros competitions for youth players. Both can hit a dead ball very well. Vermont again is known for their late goals and late heroics. Do they have another one? Papp to take it, driven in, headed down, not out. Zelafro still in though, and on, and Ismail couldn't keep it down. Let's take a breath. I'll tell you about the coverage of the NCAA championship continues the Men's College Cup Final. If this is any indication what's going to happen on Monday, you don't want to miss it. December 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA Men's College Cup, log on to NCAA.com. The official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Ohio State and Marshall will play the winner of this game, the winner of that game, I should say, play the winner of this game in the final on Monday. Ohio State and Marshall coming up 30 minutes after this concludes. We have our show here, helmed by Alyssa Lang is down there with Patty Foss to break it all down when this ends, but we may not be there yet. Bodies falling in the penalty box. No whistle. Willoughby. And Schultz Solano's tackle knocks it out to touch. You're getting close to 7 minutes. We talked about Max Murray, 36 for Vermont, the center back, was an All-America East striker 2 years ago. He's all of 6'5". How long do you think they may throw him up there and go route one?
Ironically enough, the only time that they've gone down 1-0 this year and come back was in the America East semis. They did just that, took him off the back line, pumped him up high. 5-minute mark. Real quick, good ball.
Chance, Bazzini flag down, there it is! He's their guy! He scored in every tournament game, he does it again at the biggest moment.
There's a lot of commotion on the sideline. I wondered as well as to whether or not it came off the hand, but it's been flat over the last couple of minutes for Denver. Heads down, they've been slow, they haven't reacted as much. That's the argument from the sideline, though, is going back to as to whether or not this came off the hand. But as they recycle this ball, good vision. Look at head up the entire way, cut back in on the left foot. Nope, not from that angle. Don't see it there. That looks like he cleanly takes it right down the center. How's this? Still don't see it. Remember, that underarm, it's just above the sleeve where that ball hits him. It's basically the armpit and below that would be called a penalty in this situation. To me, that looks like he catches it clean, brought down nicely, and a tidy finish up top by Bazzini.
They're reviewing, though, for offside, because in the construct of the rules, you cannot review is the goal good because of an offensive player using a handball. Technically, what you can look at is was he onside before receiving that ball? Or should I say, was he offside before receiving that ball?
And before you even get there, go back to how that opportunity came about. If you're on the sideline right now, if you're wearing a white jersey, head up, right? It has been a lot of slow feet, a lot of really lack of recognition in moments to rotate to the outside. They're not as energetic as they were early on in this game, Denver, and certainly what saw them about 15 minutes ago just ticky-tack left and right, producing opportunities in the final third.
So now he is going through his video review, which is conducted by DV Sport, a different group of people that have different camera angles. So he's taking a look at it, Stoichkov out to determine if the goal was good or not. Yaniv Bazzini has been absolutely outstanding. The NC State transfer. He's a two-time first-team All-America East player. And that would be, if this is good, it's his 30th goal of his career. And none bigger than that. Goal stands. 1-1 we are. Moving on the final 6 minutes. We said they are the cardiac kids. They score goals late. They did it again. 15 goals they have this year in the 83rd minute or later, and they just got there by 7 seconds.
35%, by the way. Quick math. Best I've ever done.
You're amazing.
I mean, that belief that they talk about, we are not underdogs. We are just dogs. They have certainly fought themselves back into this one.
Well, it's not over yet because this Denver team was creating chances. So Funnery might have a shot. Might get through to Willoughby. He goes down. Soren Stoichkov says, get up. And again, that you can review for potential penalty shouts. This is the angle from the offside
Oh, it's not even a question.
Yeah, easy. Good
acreages of real estate in between when that ball is hit, when he takes it down,
and great call.
in.
Great call by the officiating crew, live and in color, because they definitely kept it down. Again, Ryan Hammock, the far side AR, but now can Vermont put another one up and end this in regulation?
Well, they've almost fully committed to 3, which they build in 3 a lot, but now that they've released on this left-hand side, it puts more pressure on the right flank for sure, but they've done a good job reasserting. They get balance. They start to create a little bit more possession, and most importantly, those big bodies that we talk about on set-piece opportunities. You've got guys like Ismail, certainly we saw Bazzini working themselves into high spots.
Yeah, that's a new addition to the game too. Johannes Vasilou on the ball now, a grad student from Germany. Replacing Mike Bleeker and trying to make his presence felt out of that wide touch line. Flicked onto him again, and Bazzini's pass could not connect. If you're Denver, how do you get kind of a footing back in this? Because right now I feel like all the momentum is with the Catamounts.
Got it. Listen, communicate. Right? Guys, slow down, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's frustration for sure. There are ebbs and flows within matches that, you know, emotionally you got to find a way through. I go back to where we started this game and the communication that Jamie Franks gave us yesterday. That certainly was spewed into his locker room. You don't play finals, you win them.
Yep.
This is about character right now and digging in to try and find some momentum back into this game.
Back out to Bololi. And if we are tied, we of course go to overtime in a tournament situation. Willoughby, no call there. And now there's a call. Nick Rogers, the AR, was very close. He kept his flag down and was playing on. Søren Stoica pulled it back. Denver has not played an OT game yet this year. Vermont has played 2. One in the America East semifinal, and the other one in this tournament against San Diego, where they scored an extra time. Of course, this is the first goal that Denver has conceded yet in this tournament. And Fun Ring called for the foul. We are now ticking down to 3:30. And that overtime will consist of sudden victory. Next goal wins. We'll have a 10-minute period if there's no goal there. Quick break, another 10-minute period. No goal there. We will go to the dreaded penalty shootout. Sam Bassett was the difference maker for the Pioneers there on your screen. Scored the opening goal in the 69th minute. But Bazzini equalized in the 84th, and that's where we're at. There's Bassett, good feet. He's got a Cow making the run. Can he find him? Yes, he can. Good
nice
touch by Cow. Got his 2 forwards in the box, cuts it inside, floats it in. Not the best cross on his weaker foot. Blasted long, and Wright's able to bring it down. Semmelsberger's pass deflected, almost got to Willoughby. Zelafro is having an outstanding second half, though turns it over as O'Funring tracks back. Trevor Wright turns it over in a dangerous area. Bazzini. Nice job, gets it to Ismail. Good touch. Pulls a shot wide, though. And now he goes down in a heap. The junior from Germany.
I hope he's okay on the back end of this. He comes down pretty awkward the way that he strikes this. His footing gives way a little bit on his plant foot on the left, and he just came back across the body, and hoping that that's just cramps due to the more of attrition that has been. A little surprised with some of the lack of understanding, if you will, on the back line for Denver. As clean as they were in the first half as this game has gone on, and this Vermont team, you know, I talked about them being direct, being physical. They've certainly kept to that, but they've changed a lot.
Yeah.
Right? And discussed it a little bit with Zelafro coming in, the addition of Pat. More pressure on Schultz Solano, but getting Wathuta up high and the movement that you've gotten out of then Bazzini and Ismail, the way that they've worked off of each other, the back three is, the back four for Denver confused in their build, not as fluid coming forward, and then their marks coming the other way, just not understanding those pressured spots.
I mean, Bazzini, talk about a guy stepping up when you need him. He's scored in every tournament game now, 5 for 5. He's got 9 goals in his last 9 games. What a ball. Played onto his chest and then scored. Simeon with a beautiful assist to Bazzini. And now they wait to see what's going on with Ismail. And Rob Dow's on the field. The head coach checking on his player, but waiting to see if he will be subbed. Maximilian Kissel is waiting on the touchline. I'm not sure if that was the plan for Ismail or not.
He was up moving before he went down, so just checking the overall status of the German.
And a heavy German contingent on this team for Vermont.
I love the fun story, by the way, when I was asking him tactically, look, we haven't seen Ismail prior to his arrival in Vermont. Looking on the recruiting pages, that kind of the striker, false 9-10 type role, and he goes, well, that's kind of how I got him here. You talk about positioning, you know, where I was going to play, and I said, you'll play the 10. Well, then you come in, you pretty much plays everything but that now.
Everywhere but we've said it before, that's the mentality with this team. And in all fairness, every team here has talked about whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
But a lot of these Vermont guys have moved in all types of different positions. They dealt with injuries, and none more than Ismail, and obviously, as we mentioned already, Max Murray, the starting center back. That's now a cemented spot for him, but he's been a striker, an all-league striker 2 years ago.
Your Denver response time. By the way, even if that's a mistake.
That's not what you want. Pap on it. Gets it back to his right foot. Ben Smith on it. He's carrying a yellow. Good job to get it to Bassett. Out wide to Ian Smith.
And 90 seconds to go. You got to build momentum here. You have fallen out of the game. Put the ball on the deck. Let it do the work for you. That's what they're best at. Be clean on it, good decision making, and just start to move this thing around before. If you can't get anything out of it, fine. But start to move it around and reestablish some of the dominance that you had. Got to give yourself some credit mentally if you have to go further than 90 minutes.
Count head up with space, floats it back post, arriving. There's a little head-to-head contact there. Bassett is down. You do not want to see that. As Simeon and Bassett collide toward the back post.
That's brave by both of them. They know the contact's coming. If you're Sam Bassett, it's always going to be up over the top. Credit that he just goes straight up in the air. But then the way that Simeon comes back across, both just trying to make a play.
Both players got back up without assistance. It's Hannah Trammell, the fantastic athletic trainer for Vermont, was about to make her way back onto the pitch. She's been busy tonight, busy all year, with so many different injuries in this Catamount squad. Denver had that last year. Denver had 3 starters, 3 all-league players, and Trevor Wright, Ben Smith, and Ian Smith all out for the season. Season-ending injuries. Excuse me, Ronan Wynn, Trevor Wright, and Ben Smith. McCow now, less than 60. He's got chance. Floats it. Barrett, not cleared though. Murray, bad clearance, back in the mixer. Oh, Funry can't get it to Bassett. It finally finds his feet. He tries to backheel it, picked off. They may have a chance the other way. Kissel, heavy touch, and what a recovery by Ian Smith, who has been up and down that left flank all day. Excuse me, that's Ronan Wynn coming from the he's usually the right back. He's all over the pitch. That's Ian Smith way up there doing what he's done all game, flicking it onto a Funreen. 20 seconds left. Oh, whoa. Hersick there to make the save. This thing isn't over. And Hersick may just try to take the air out of it and get it to overtime. Here we go in the College Cup. The drama builds. 1-1 after 90. Devin, your thoughts?
Unreal from both teams, to be fair. Right, to have the character to work through the ebbs and flows that were really good looks and then also some poor passages. You got to give it to both of these teams to be able to find some momentum throughout the match to produce, even if only one on each side. But right.
When you see the last 3 years, Denver's been very good in these situations and prevailing. See if they can continue. And both these teams, the core of both these teams have been here in these moments before. Over the last 2 and 3 seasons. A lot of 5th and 4th year players on both rosters.
For Denver and Jamie Franks, it's all about keeping the game in front of them. They want to avoid those big balls over the top. But guys, when I talked to Rob Dow, there was a twinkle in his eye. He said, Marion, this is where we come to life. We are going to end it here in overtime. We don't need to change anything tactically. I believe in what my team's been doing.
Well, they did just that against San Diego, on the road at San Diego. Zelafro drew a penalty. Bazzini put it away to give them the 1-0 win and move forward to the quarterfinals, which they beat Pitt 2-0 on Pittsfield.
You know, Marion just mentioned Vermont not changing anything tactically. But the one thing I would say to that is just they're very cognizant of Dylan Acau on this right-hand side. Thought he did a good job as the game went on, although they struggled to be on the ball. He's been really active. They committed more numbers forward. There's a lot more space on this right flank for Denver to play through.
Bassett lets it run. And Welch is back in the game. Excuse me, Keegan Kelly back in the game, 18, top of the box in white. Started the match, but Willoughby actually got more of the run through the course of the game. Willoughby is carrying an injury, so Kelly, who scored twice in this tournament already, could be able to do it again. Ben Smith on the ball. Over to Ronan Wynn. There's your guy Cow again in space on the right. Charging forward. Gets off the cross. Simeon is there. Ben Smith shorts the pass to Kelly. Bazzini turns into trouble. Does Denver need to change anything? Because Vermont has controlled the game the last 10 or 15 minutes.
They're doing it right now. And we discussed it at the end of 90 minutes, just continuing to move the ball. As you move Vermont. And recognize the space. I still like the idea of trying to find a way. Moments like that right there where you can try and get Sam Bassett just a little bit higher. To me, that's on Ian Smith, just committing a half second sooner, and also that conversation in front with Ben Smith. If he goes, Bassett's going to sit a little bit because you got to cover the space.
Nice driven ball out to Cow. Cow gets it back. It's end line, floats it in. Dangerous ball! Oh, Funreen couldn't get enough on it to put it on frame. Denver enforcing their will upon the game yet again. This game has had just huge back and forths and swings within it. To a Cow.
That's good defending.
Great tackle by Vasilou. Vasilou, nice job getting his foot to it. Knocked Out again for another throw. Great crowd. The kids back there feeling it right now, but phenomenal crowd here from Cary, North Carolina, building to looks like a full house. With Ohio State and Marshall yet to come, and we're in OT right now. Whipped in. Chest down by Schultz Solano, calmly. Wathuta combining with Zelafro. He's had a great half. Nice lead for Wathuta. He's got Simeon to the right, didn't play him, pulls it back to the left. Vasilou back to Wathuta. Gliding around as he does. A lot of men in the box. So they've started to commit more numbers forward. Zelafro tries the switch to Simeon. He can't keep it in. That was a tough pass. Handle. Barrett picks it off, charging forward. Your senior captain, oh! Deflected. Wathuta plays a dangerous one back in. Wow. There's one thing about...
That ball's going in, by the way.
That's what I thought.
Center back to center back. Recognizes the space is there on the left foot. This is bottom corner written all over it, if not for the good vision by Jason Below. Just recognizes the run and allows it to continue. Call it last ditch defending, call whatever you want. That's great understanding of the center back in space and where to step into.
Huge block by Beloli. Marcel Papp comes in. Barrett, the defensive player of the year for the America East, striding forward. He was dangerous in the first half when he actually came forward in that little, kind of inverted run he was making. Helped create a chance for Vermont in the beginning of the game. This is Vermont's first trip to a College Cup, and I thought Barrett and Bazzini were very clear to us yesterday. As Vermont soccer arrived to come to the College Cup, they said absolutely not. Nobody will remember if we get here. That's how they felt. They will only be remembered if they win the whole thing. And that's the desperation this team plays with the times. Zelafro lets it run ahead of him. A lot of touches. Back to Murray. Zelafro in a pocket of space, then back to Barrett.
Just a little bit flat right now, Denver, in terms of their overall shape. Got to be real careful when one steps that this doesn't happen. You pull one out, and then all of a sudden you've beaten the one guy and you have the man advantage. That's a great tackle. I got to tell you, the defending that we've seen has been next level from some of these young men tonight.
Wynn just showing you why he's Defensive Player of the Year in the Summit, and that was a heavy challenge. Ben Smith is down in a heap, no call. See if he gets back to his feet. He slowly does. Bassett. There's Ben Smith popping up again. He'll give it a shot. Bassett again. Tries to play it out to Ian Smith. Back to Bassett again. Heavy. Kind of lost his touch on it. Schultz Solano draws the foul. Senior from Frankfurt. Three-time All-League player in the America East. One-time freshman team, second team, and first team. Hannah Trammell making her jog out now to take a look at Simeon. And Rob Dow will join her as well. Check on their right back. Grad student from Montreal, a transfer from San Francisco. Former All WCC West Coast Conference player there. Dealt with injuries this year, but has started now 15 of 14 matches he's appeared in. he received treatment. He'll have to step off the pitch. We'll see if he remains in the game or is subbed out.
Certainly one of the key reasons they were able to push through a quarterfinal victory against Jay Vidovich and Pitt Panthers. Excellent one-on-one defender that haven't been able to really work into rotation as high as they've liked tonight, but we'll say that with the tactical changes that has gone on, he's been excellent defensively.
Oh, Zelafro's going to get a yellow for that, and Kelly better relax. Kind of following after Zelafro. That's the first card for a catamount today.
Freshman to freshman. It was a great turn by Keegan Kelly. It's just horse collar from behind by Zelafro. That's a rough tackle.
Yeah.
I'd be frustrated as well if I was Keegan Kelly.
Native of Auckland, New Zealand. Freshman's had a great tournament, as we mentioned already. 2 goals scored in this tournament, Kelly. One being the game winner, 1-0 over number 14 seed, Indiana. Ian Smith charging forward. A couple of numbers there. Plays it over the top, looking for Kelly, who hit the deck. I thought he was going to have a chance at that. You wanted that ball played to him, and
he was in. You know, I was asking for it before he even took the touch to whip it out on that left flank. Good service again by Ian Smith. And there are some extracurriculars going on between Zelafro and Keegan Kelly right now.
Well, now Shul Solano coming over to defend the freshman, but it's almost like the turf monster got him there. We're ticking close to 60 seconds left in the first overtime. Again, next goal wins, sudden victory. If there is no goal, we will head to a second 10-minute period of overtime. No goal there, we will go to penalty kicks. Neither team has seen a penalty shootout this year, in either their conference or NCAA tournament. Bassett's touch a little heavy. Wathuda's able to pick it off. Ben Smith on it, 30 seconds to go. Ian Smith ahead, and again, passes off. But well done by Simeone, who's back on the pitch, obviously. They're not done yet, though. Bassett's got a lot of room. They saw what he could do before with that. Semmelsberger pops it out to win, 15 seconds. He'll just fire it back into the mixer. Out comes Hersig, and he'll claim. And he'll settle. Okay, Devin. 10 down, maybe 10 to go. Thoughts?
I would say speechless given the effort that's been put forth.
Tons.
Never at a loss for words, so are we?
Jake Smith, the redshirt junior, one of the few guys that's not from Colorado area. He's actually from North Carolina. Grew up in the NCFC Academy playing in these very grounds right here. 2023 Summit Team honorable mention, number 26 now, right in the middle of your pitch. Bassett brings it down out wide to Cow. To win. Stutter steps now, he gets some space. Heavier touch though. Nice recovery by Hartman. Win to take the throw. Gets it to Bradley. His feed by Cow. Headed into the path of Wathuda. When he opens those legs, he can be dangerous. Dangerous anywhere, just glides. Go. Back to Wathuda. And earns the oh no, goal kick. Plotting the defending center back.
Well, it's even from a holding midfielder, and Jake Smith, who pinched himself out of the midfield and came back over. It's an interesting change for me, and here's why. Jake Smith in that midfield, where Cal rotates, where Bassett comes high, the way that they allow Ben Smith to go and attack the game, that's the preferred choice. They brought him out at halftime. We haven't seen him since then. I actually thought it was an injury because of what had gone on. We hadn't gotten the communication about it yet. Now, Semmelsberger certainly can play a little bit higher, but we're getting a little bit of notification now that it was about fatigue, and this extended gap has allowed them to get some more nutrition in his body to try and go attack this remaining 10 minutes left.
Out to right. Ian Smith on it. Trying to play an early cross to flex out for a throw. And another ball on the pitch, so we'll have to stop things for a second. Bassett clears it off. Now he'll get the game ball to his feet. And just dispossessed there by Zelafro. Oh, look at the freshman go. Returns it over here. Jake Smith. Clip ball in. Bradley. Excuse me, Kelly almost on that freshman.
Oh, you got to be easy here if you're Zelafro. That youthful exuberance that we've seen really help this team to get back into it. Certainly to claw back and grab that goal. All the distribution he's given. Got to also be making sure you're not letting that override some of your decision making. 25 yards from net. Can't allow that to get away from you. Allow the guys like Zach Barrett and Max Murray behind you. Just communicate that. Get your head back up. Get back in the game.
Nice job by the Thuder to keep it in play, and then take it over to Fleeker, who's re-entered the fray. Back to Murray. Barrett. To Murray. Out to Hartman. Excuse me, Schultz Solano. There's Hartman. Down in a heap goes Pap.
Oh. Little how do you do at the end of it?
Yeah, I can't feel good. Cal landing on back of Pap. Nothing malicious. It went down. So now again, this very tall Vermont team will stride forward. You've got Murray, 36, toward the close. You can't even see him on your screen. He's down by the corner of the 18. He's all of 6'5". You got Barrett. You got big bodies up there.
That's a really high line defensively, too, that has a little bit of depth in it. Got to be careful.
Thuda's ball really played high, though, looking for Murray. And will Wynn be able to keep it in? He will not. Oh. And now Barrett, one of his patented long throws. He'll be looking for Murray again. Big 36 right there on your screen. Sandwiched by two Pioneer defenders and Kelly in front of them to make it 3. Somehow gets through with Thuda. Delays, shot, deflected, still with Thuda. At the Simeone. He floats it back in the mixer, headed down, a cow on it. He'll just get it out. 4:30 to go before we will be in penalties if nobody scores. Looking long, flag up. They're looking for the goal scorer, Bazzini. Kind of in the same way, getting behind that defensive line. Couldn't connect there, though. Barrett, good ball to Pap. Nice control. Trying to squeak through, but gets to the arms of Nami. Rob Dow urging his catamounts along. 3:30 to go. Do we have a late drama in terms of a game winner, or will the drama be from 12 yards out? To Ian Smith, he's got Bassett in space ahead, plays Bassett. Barrett charging over to cover, well done. It'll stay with the Pioneers though. 3 minutes to go. Ian Smith to Ben Smith, to Bassett. Bassett thought about crossing it, but did not. Back to Bololi. Ian Smith, head up, good ball whipped in. Wynn brings it down. Paint forward, could be on here for the Catamounts. Wathuta run ahead, he's got it to Wathuta, right defending it. Wathuta trying to get it back on his right foot, he does. Doesn't let it loose, leaves it, shot, just high. And if Zelafro scored, it would have just been appropriate. That freshman has been everywhere.
Sitting Wathuta just wasn't clean enough. He wanted to try and cut this back across and then have a go himself. Ryan Zelafro's not that far off there. And it's, again, we talked about the physical exertion creeping in a little bit. His form just drifting away at the tail end of it. It's the little things that separate the good from glory right now.
We're 90 seconds away. Neither of these teams have ever been to a College Cup final. Denver's only been to this stage once in their program's history. Ball played, a couple white jerseys there. Almost snuck through. And Funreen, I think, got a piece of it. But again, couldn't put it on frame.
It's pretty incredible how little he looks next to this back line of Vermont. Everybody's 6'4". I mean, the trees are aplenty up in the Northeast. He's just over 6 foot though, and he can jump out of the gym. That is just really well timed, and unfortunately, just the way that he redirects, he does everything right. Just a game of inches.
And now you've got Sidney Wathuta on the deck with 64 seconds to go in the second overtime before we head to penalties if it cannot be settled. Jamie Franks does not appreciate the situation. Kadeem Sabar, the fourth official, getting an earful right now. As is Rick Rogers, the assistant referee, who's just in the middle of it. Wathuta's getting treatment, the midfielder of the year in the America East. The crowd continues to pile in here right now, and there may be a sub for Wathuta. Yep, I believe Andrew Millar, the redshirt sophomore from Cambridge, Mass, is going to re-enter the match. He's part of the 2023 all-freshman team in the America East. Largest number of starts this year, 13 starts, but now coming off the bench in a huge moment. Wathuta struggling, and obviously you see Coach Dow helping his star sophomore off the pitch. That will be missed for the next 64 seconds, but then in penalty shootouts, the penalty shootout as well, one of your better strikers of the ball. And the crowd is here, Ohio State waiting to play Marshall. When this one concludes, about 30 minutes after, we'll get it going. Oh, now Zelafro takes a shot from Bassett, and Bassett's going to go to the book for that. He didn't give a card there.
He was just stopping the play.
Ooh.
Tired legs once again creeping in for one of the best in the country this year. Sam Bassett, your goal scorer. 69th minute. 15 later, Bazzini. Still where it stands.
And you've got, again, Max Murray, big 36 down here. And Zach Barrett, both on the same side. They play looking for Barrett. He heads it back across. Looking for the flick on. It's loose in the box. Nami's out to claim it. And Keegan Kelly's busting it, trying to start a counter the other way because we're at 40 seconds to go. Will they have one more chance? The Denver bench was yelling, we're going to have one more chance. Well, Bassett's coming forward. A lot of catamounts around it. Finds Ben Smith. He gets the cross off. O'Funring tracking back to find it. And ends up going out harmlessly for the goal kick. We're at 20 seconds. Will Hersig play it quickly? Or will the big freshman keeper look at his first shootout in a collegiate uniform with a trip to the College Cup final on the line? It seems that's the path. 110 minutes could not separate him, Devin. The penalties we go.
I can tell you right now, it's the best way to win. It's also the worst way to lose. You think about the journey that you've been on over the year to be decided from 12 yards out, mentally staying locked in. If you're Vermont, the way that you've gotten into this and what they make sure they maintain within them is not an underdog mentality. And Zach Barrett telling us, we didn't come this far to just come this far. That's going to be exactly what they're saying right now.
And of course, penalty kick rules. It's your best of 5 after that. We are alternate until a winner is determined. On the season right now, not a ton of penalty attempts for either squad. As Isaac Nami, the goalie, faced 3 this year, allowed all 3. Nick Hersig as well, not had many attempts this year. And what's at stake? Everything. A chance to play for a national championship on Monday night. Marshall and Ohio State are in the other semifinal, the 13 seed, the #1 overall seed, and the Buckeyes are waiting in the wings to see who will be the other finalist. And you take a look at the penalties taken. Vermont is 1 for 2. That was their goal scorer in this game. Yaniv Bazzini was 1 for 2. Sam Bassett, the goal scorer in this game as well, 1 for 1. Last time Denver was in a penalty shootout last year in their Summit League tournament, and they fell in that shootout 3-2. Denver will go first. Jake Smith, who was reinserted in the match late in the overtime sessions after starting the match and playing most of the first half, goes up against the freshman Nick Hersig. Smith with a short run up. Can he give his team an early advantage? Oh, and Søren Stoika says, hold on, we're going to pull this thing back. And Rick Rogers' AR having words here. And not sure what is happening right now. And Jamie Franks is saying, what are we doing? His arms are out. This is like equivalent to icing a kicker right now. So the clock had not hit 0 between the allotted time, between the end of overtime and the shootout beginning. Now it has, and now Jake Smith does his routine again. Hersig in net. Oh! Guessed right, slotted home though.
I give the young man credit, went all the way back up to outside the top of the 18 to reset that routine that you referenced. And that short run up is always one that scares me, but certainly for Jake Smith, don't mind if you do. Perfectly placed just inside the post. That's really difficult for a goalkeeper to react in such a tight-knit fashion on the run-up.
And the man that equalized the game in the 84th minute, Yaniv Bazzini, the redshirt senior, started his career at NC State, transferred up to Vermont to become an all-league player at this level, the America East. Now can he level the shootout as he did the match earlier? Slips in his run-up, and it gets through the hands of Nami still. Whew.
Thought he had him here. A slight hesitation. Well done by the goalkeeper, and a sweeping motion, the way that his hand comes back across. And we shook hands with him yesterday. He's got big mitts.
You said that. He got big, strong hands. He's going to be there, upset at himself for not being able to keep that one out. But Bazzini did put power on it. Ronan Wynn now steps to the spot. Slots it home again. Cool as you like from the New Zealand native. Zach Barrett, the captain, the vocal leader of this team, the center back, will stride to the spot now. Took a shot toward the end of regulation. Looked like it was destined for goal, but it was deflected by Bololi. It kept out. Can he find the back of the net now to knot the shootout up again? Yes.
There's certainly no doubt here for Zach Barrett where he was going. Watch the way that he steps on his left, the plant. Does a really good job of actually keeping those hips flat and then immediately coming back across at the end of it.
Ben Smith over the ball. Registered senior, one of the co-captains. Oh, and the save by Hersig! That trail leg got him.
He tried to go right down the middle, kind of old school David Beckham penalty there. He hits, reminiscent of the one that he took against Argentina back in the early 2000s. Just doesn't get enough on it to come across the goalkeeper. Drifts just a little bit. It's a natural tendency off the right footer. Well done to slow down the run by Catamounts goalkeeper.
Max Murray, the big center back, 2 years ago was an All-America East striker. Has been deployed at center back since early in this season, is now an all-league center back as well. Can he convert? Right down the middle. Cool as you like. With the advantage now, the Catamounts 3-2, Sam Bassett. Mac Herman, semifinalist, announced this week for the National Player of the Year. Midfielder of the Year twice in the Summit League. One of the best midfielders in the nation, the goal scorer in this game for the Pioneers. They need him now again.
Oh, wow. Come on, son. I mean, that placement in general, yet alone in this moment, Jamie Frank says, you'll play finals, you win finals? The guts to go this high in that moment on the stutter. Unreal from Sam Bassett.
Into the goal cam. Onions. All right, Max Kissel now. The D2 All-American last year, the transfer from Bridgeport. Led the nation in goals at that level. Scored last week against Pitt in their quarterfinal match. Can he keep them on the front foot here? He does. And he puts all the pressure squarely on Trevor Wright, striding to the spot, who must score to keep this going for the Pioneers and keep the hope of a College Cup final alive. The big center back can't deliver, and the Catamounts continue this magical run to the final Monday night.